Hello everyone, I am Jung, Principal Base of NJSO. Welcome and Happy Lunar New Year. Today I would like to share with you something different than music, which is a cooking recipe. I am in Korea at the moment, and in Korea during Lunar New Year we eat something special called Tteokguk, which is rice cake soup. It is a savory soup with some rice cakes in it, also known as 1 year soup. My grandmother used to tell me that unless I eat this soup for the new year, I wouldn't get older. So without further ado, let's dive right in.
Let's start with the ingredients. You'll need a base for your broth. I'm going to use fish broth with dried anchovies, kelp, and shrimps. I found this package with the individually portioned broth packs. I'm going to use one of these packets. I'm using fish broth this time, but you can use any kind of broths. One particular alternative in Korea is an oxtail broth. You can also use vegetable broth and make it vegetarian too. Next, we'll need some rice cakes. You will be able to find them at an Asian supermarkets. Find the ones that are sliced like this one. I'm using multicolored ones, but you can use plain white ones too. Then you'll need some eggs, scallions, and some salt, soy sauce, and seaweed to season and garnish. Let's start cooking with the prepping the ingredients. First, grab your rice cakes and pour them into a large mixing bowl. I cook about 100 to 150 grams of rice cakes per portion. That is about 2 handfuls of it. Then rinse the rice cakes under a cold running water a few times. Once you're done rinsing, soak them with cold water while you prepare other ingredients. Soaking the rice cakes is really important to get a supple and tender texture. While the rice cakes are soaking, chop the scallions and set them aside. Crack and beat 2 eggs and set them also aside until the broth is ready. For your broth, grab a large pot and pour a generous amount of water. I use about 750 milligrams per portion. Bring the water to boil in medium to high heat. If you used prepared broth or stocks, you can simply bring them to boil and move on to the next step. Otherwise, remember to throw the broth pack in when the water is still cold. Let the ingredients for the broth simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes until the color of the broth becomes golden. Once you have a nice gold color of the broth, take the packet out so that the broth does not become bitter. Then pour the rice cakes and scallions, leaving a little bit of scallions behind for garnish. Then bring the soup back to boil on a medium to high heat. Once they boil again, put a teaspoon of soy sauce and give it a little swirl. Last but not least, pour the eggs into a boiling soup. Leave them in for a few seconds and then give it a little bit of a swirl again. Check your rice cakes to see if they're supple and soft. If they are, the soup is ready. All that is left now is to enjoy the soup. Pour them into a nice bowl and garnish with a little bit of scallions and seaweed. I love pairing this soup with Korean traditional honey iced tea with some cinnamon and ginger called sujeongwa. This sweet tea balances really nicely with the savory soup.
That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the soup, and I look so much forward to seeing you again.